Hey everyone, it's Mark from Dungeon Class. I got some special guests with me today. I've got Wally DM, who is got the Fiend Folio. That's bringing it old school right there. And with us we have Josiah from Dungeon Dad and Fred from How to D&D. Today we're talking about hook horrors. You have to be very careful how you say that. Hook horrors. And hook horrors, well, that's the classic old D&D, big things with big hooks and stuff. And so the way I would amp it up a little bit, make it a little more interesting, is maybe have more hooks, or maybe those hooks are on the end of tentacles. I like the idea of having tentacles so that they can reach out and really grab the person and try to staple them to the wall. Just right up against the wall. Make them a little more deadly, gives them a little more reach, so that they really mess with the adventurers, and they're just not something that's just a big lumbering beast with hooks on his hands, which isn't bad either, but just a little spicier way of doing that. So, Wally DM, what did you got for hook horrors?
Well, I have a little bit more of a serious answer. So, for those of you looking for my normal, charming, humorous self, it'll be a little bit absent in this one, but that's okay. As far as hook horrors go, looking at them, they have their own language, which is conducted through using their hooks to smack on stone or their exoskeleton. And immediately I thought of during World War II, the US military used the Navajo language as an unbreakable code. And so I would use the hook horror as something, perhaps there is a kingdom that is under attack, and the opposition is using these sounds, these clanking sounds, and this kingdom or whatever that the PCs or the party is a part of can't figure this out. And so the opposition is always a step ahead. Well, they figure out that it is the language or the clicky clack of a hook horror, and they are tasked with going and trying to find this monster and convince at least one of them to come back and join them and help them decipher the code.
Very good.
That's
I like
very
this.
fun.
Code talkers. All
And
right,
if
very good.
and if that doesn't work, then they're going to take the hook horror fishing, and they're just going to dip their hooks into the water, and they're going to pull up fish. That was my other idea, but
Or they could use it as like bait to catch something really big. Like if they
That's right.
tie it up and then biff it over the side of a boat, and they use it to like bait a leviathan, and then its hooks like catch into its mouth or something.
Very cool. Yeah. You're catching something big if you're using a hook horror as the hook. Yeah,
that's a very good plot hook to use. Absolutely.
Oh wow, plot
Fired.
hook. Oh man, yeah.
Prison.
Sorry, I'll go back to reading now.
All right, so you're in timeout for a bit. All right, so Josiah, what do you think?
All right, my thing is way dumber, but hook horrors are basically like giant purple chickens with hooks for hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, effectively, when you look at what they are. So I was like, okay, well, if they're like the giant carnivorous hook chickens in the Underdark, what's to stop some forward-thinking drow from maybe taking those hook horrors and starting a hook horror farm, where instead of raising chickens, they're raising hook horrors. And I mean, that's a very dangerous profession, but I assume they probably lay eggs, and those eggs are probably quite large, and they can probably sell those at market for like a pretty sum of gold. So like, I'm picturing this encounter where the players are traversing through the Underdark, and they find like this little, like basically like a farmstead, but like carved out into the rock or whatever, where there's this group of drow with like big, I guess they wouldn't need sun hats because there's no sun, but whatever the Underdark equivalent of a sun hat is, and just chewing on like a piece of Underdark fungus straw. And they're just like, oh, come on in, like stay for the night, like you help me with the hook horrors in the morning, and like I'll feed you and take care of you, room and board kind of deal. And then like while the party's staying there, one of the hook horrors gets loose or something, and they have to like help them go out and wrangle it before it hurts anyone in like the nearby village that's actually not used to contending with these things on a daily basis. That's my idea for a hook horror quest.
Yeah, I love the visual of a drow saying, "You come here and stay a spell with us here and help us with these drow chicken thingies." Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, farmer drow. Farmer
Like,
D, and the idea
yeah.
of Farmer Drow is an interesting idea. Yeah,
Like
very cool.
You've heard of the Deep South. Well, this is like the Deep South, where
this is super deep.
Yeah.
Very good.
Now,
All right.
I appreciate that idea and everything, but when you go out there and you collect them hook whore eggs, you make sure that you look up and there's no chicken harpies up there looking down on you, because they will tear you apart.
Exactly.
Wow. This is next level right here. Just next level stuff. All right, good. All right. Well, Fred has the unenviable job of following that. All right, Fred, go ahead. What you got?
John Wayne, Western, Cowboys, home on the range, driving those hooked horrors across the country. That's what I've got. I've just stolen everybody else's idea, put it together, and calling it my own.
There we go.
That's
Boom.
the kind of Winnie the Pooh movement that I have. Anyway, I do have some ideas. Again, I needed help with this one. This was really hard. So I consulted AJ Pickett and his videos to try and help me with that one.
Good
and
resource.
he was talking about silver and how hooked horrors eat silver. And then suddenly I was like, oh, okay. So now silver coins are a big issue, or silver is a big issue. Then he said something about platinum having silver in it. And I was like, okay, hooked horrors, kleptomaniacs who steal silver coins, eat them. And because we want to have something to actually collect, because monsters don't have pockets, they poo this silver goo out. And that's what the players can find as treasure. Okay, or they can open their stomach and find the residue of this digested silver coins that have been broken down into this mush. I don't know how you turn it back into a sort of a solid metal at the end. That's not my problem. Okay, but that was my first idea, and then my second idea was more ludicrous than this one. So I thought hooked horrors climb up cliffs, right? And the only thing I could get out of my head was this image of hooked horrors, or at least one, possibly more, probably more. It probably is like a sport, climbing up the side of a sheer mountain and getting as high up as they possibly can, then leaping off, and they've got either a sail or some sort of skin fabric that balloons out into a parachute. So you've got hooked horrors base jumpers who come down, swooping down from above to then feed and tear you to pieces. So that was the idea that I really liked. And if you don't like that, just go with sumo wrestling. Was it WWE or WWF or WWA wrestlers? You know,
WWE,
hooked horrors.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're perfect for a wrestler.
I
Get yourself a hooked horror.
Yeah.
I don't know. The idea of hook horrors raining down from above, that's horrifying.
That's
I'm
terrifying.
putting mine on a bungee cord. That would be amazing.
You just grab someone and then they go back up.
Yeah. What the heck was that? Yeah. You
If
wouldn't
they're like
expect it.
working with like a roper in the Underdark, and the roper's like wrapped around them, and they jump on and hook into someone and then pull them up, and then them and the roper can like both eat whatever they drag up.
Very
Now we're
cool.
talking. Now we're
I
cooking with
know.
gas.
Yeah, we
Oh,
really,
man.
yeah. We just combined two monsters right there. That's big stuff. All right. Very good. All right. Well, thank you to our guests. I appreciate you guys being with us today. And with that, class dismissed. Wow.